Now is Democratic Pennsylvania Congresswoman Madeleine Dean. Congresswoman, great to see you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good to be with you.
Thank you. So let me begin with U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi downplaying the security concerns about the use of the Signal app. Listen.
Is Signal not going to be used, or is it going to be used going forward? Are you aware of it?
I think Signal's a very safe way to communicate. I don't think foreign adversaries are able to hack Signal, as far as I know.
So, Congresswoman, what are you most concerned about? The Signal app that may still be utilized for operations, that Defense Secretary Hegseth has the White House's support, or that a journalist was invited to the messaging by the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz?
Well, it strikes me that neither the president nor the attorney general really understand the commercial platform, the Signal app. And so Signalgate is not going to go away. I'm concerned about the whole mess, but really it just is revealing of the hallmark of this administration, the gross incompetence and the gross indecency of it. Here's what they do. They're amateurs on a signal chain. They're chatting about war plans, the motions of our military, the exact timing. They're chatting between one another. They don't even recognize there's another number on there that is not identified to them, even though he was invited by Mike Waltz. It's such incompetence. And that was so dangerous to our military, to our intelligence personnel, and of course to our relationship with our allies. But even more dangerous, Fredricka, is their reaction to it. When their incompetence is revealed, what do? They lie about it. They say nothing in there was secret or confidential. Insane. Any first grader could read that and understand. And then they just call names. Loser, sucker, the fellow who just did his job, invited into the conversation and revealed for America the incompetence of this administration. That's the even more dangerous part. That's what worries me more. I have called for the resignation of both Mr. Hegseth and Mr. Waltz.
Okay, so now what? You've called for their resignation, but the White House still seems to be standing by them. For how long is this, back and forth kind of dialogue going to go on before you believe something will give?
Well, I am heartened slightly to hear some Republicans on the Senate side saying that they want to investigate it. Strange that the Attorney General would not want to investigate it, but of course her independence is completely compromised, and she's been sold over to the White House as Trump's attorney. I am heartened that some Republicans recognize this for what it is, and I'll give Marco Rubio credit. He called it the gross mistake it was. But we in the House, I will tell you that, we're going to do hearings, we will do investigations, and of course, there should be a complete independent investigation, because not only is it dangerous to our military, but for the grace of God, no one was injured. And this signal chain could very well have been intercepted, even though the AG doesn't seem to know it. But our intelligence folks could have been injured. So I'll keep calling for us to make sure we do our investigation. People are held to account for the possible crimes they committed as well. But it is so dangerous, and it's just so telling of this administration's incompetence. That whole Greenland visit, the president comes off with half-baked ideas, and then the events of last week overtook them between Signalgate and a few other things. And then Mr. Vance goes to Greenland into a fenced-in area because they don't want to face the people of Greenland, whom they have insulted and belittled.
And so more on that Greenland, because, the president is happy with Vance's visit, and the president says we need Greenland for international safety and security. And as you underscored, Greenlanders and Danish higher-ups and members of Parliament, et cetera, have all said, butt out. We're doing just fine. We don't need you. Ultimately, what is the signal that the U.S. is sending globally to the rest of the world, especially at a time when universally there is outrage over Russia imposing itself on Ukraine? Yet now you've got the U.S., which is trying to impose itself on Greenland and even the Panama Canal.
What does it send to our allies? It says to our allies, we're willing to insult and belittle you suggest punishing tariffs to our closest allies, and then claim it has anything to do with security. So, for example, with Greenland, this is not about security. What we should be doing is working with Greenland and the Danish government to say, how can we help you make sure that we are as strong as possible in that geopolitically important region of the world, to be sure we're facing our foes, Russia and China, right there. But to Mr. Trump, it's a real estate deal. He hopes there's minerals there for him to tap into, just as he sold the real estate deal that is Gaza, that is Panama, that is Canada, the 51st state. They are so amateur, so half-baked, and so insulting. You saw Hillary Clinton, Secretary Clinton's article in the New York Times. She said it's not enough to be strong. You have to be smart about your political relationships around the globe. This administration is just dumb.
Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, thank you so much.
Thank you.